What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Chad's Home. Today, we have a band all the way from San Diego. They just released their debut album, Gossamer 2. It's out now. That band is Fashion Jackson.
What's good?
How's it going?
Hey, guys.
How's it going? Yeah.
What's up, Chad?
Thanks for driving. It's 10 a.m. right now. These guys got up at like 5:30 a.m. and drove all the way from San Diego. So
fun.
much appreciated.
Don't let them know we're responsible. Come on. Don't tell them that.
Most responsible band. I love it. So I actually want to dive in with one of the best music videos I've seen, which is the Honda music video.
Oh, really? Okay. Yes.
Give me the best dance moves, by the way. You guys crushed the dance moves.
Thank you.
What was the concept behind that?
It was kind of, my brother Alex directed it, and we've kind of always had this really, really specific and just really dumb sense of humor in that, like, I think we find a lot of novelty in, like, taking a really, really basic idea and just making it as extreme and, like, leaning into the stupidity of it, but in a way that we still think is, like, kind of funny.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like just the idea of Jake making a clown out of himself. Like, I think that was literally the one sentence that we had in mind, but then the humor came from making it look like really grotesque and like having the lighting and the imagery be really like dark.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's just us, I guess, like attempting to amuse ourselves, and it kind of just turned into something ridiculous, but we love it.
Right. Was it tough to play like a bad guy?
Yeah, it was fun to play like an 80s bully. I've never experienced that.
Big Tannen, rap game, Big Tannen.
I molded into the role so well. I was kind of like...
It just unlocks something.
It unlocked something inside me.
We all found out that day that Jake's really good at acting and dancing. Like, none of us really like knew.
Yeah.
And he kind of just rolled.
so
I don't think he
bad.
knew either. He just kind of rolled
Yeah.
up, and then it was a really specific vibe, and we all just kind of got into it, and it was super
what
fun.
What is good dancing? Like what I don't.
That's true. That's subjective.
That was in my opinion like the weirdest thing I've ever done on a screen. But hey, all right. If
You're
people
vibing.
liked it, I was big vibes.
Yeah. And you too.
Oh yeah, my
You like braids.
Yeah, I'm the janitor.
Your hair in that video.
I'm the janitor.
I'm like the goblin in the hallway or whatever.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
I still feel attacked to this day.
Yeah.
Jake is
You're
my
the winner, technically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jake's still my intimidator, like to this day.
I know, but you threw the nose at him. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You showed him. You're like, you're a clown.
I definitely showed him what for, but
Yeah.
The thing with Sean's
It still
character
hurts.
is like the whole joke was like that he's like supposed to represent the working class, but the joke itself is that we put that in our video in a really ham-handed and like not intellectual way. Like it's done so clumsily and awfully, and like there's no commentary of any substance. And I think that's just kind of like the best part of it.
Right. Yeah. I thought it was great. Yeah. I thought it was great. So Gossamer 2. Why Gossamer 2? Do you feel like it was a continuation from the Gossamer EP? Or?
All right, so it was 60% for the meme, but the other 40% is because I think it actually is like a spiritual successor in a way to our first EP. Because like the whole thing was like, I mean, we try and be like self-aware about like how people perceive us, and it's like Gossamer is like our most popular song.
Yeah.
And we kind of were playing around with the fact that like a lot of people who are outside our like passionate listener base would just be expecting like more of that song,
Right.
because it's what popped up in their Discover Weekly.
Right.
So we thought it would be funny to like label it as that, but then that's the packaging of something that's like completely different. And then I don't know, and I feel like on our first EP, like when I say spiritual successor, I feel like in terms of like the kind of record we wanted to make, in terms of it being diverse and exploring a lot of our different influences and styles, like it's something that we attempted from the get-go, and I think it took us till like this album to really nail.
Got it.
So that was kind of part of it too, but
Got
also
it.
the meme.
Yeah.
Like you said, 60% me.
Yeah, exactly.
65.
60-40 ratio.
Yeah.
The magic
Yeah.
number.
It's very unique. It's very like genreless, I think. You guys kind of flow in and out of different things. Is that like, so it was an intentional thing, or is that just kind of when you guys make music, that's just what comes out?
It
I
was
feel like that's kind of
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Because like I don't know, like I think for us, and like going back to what I said about the Honda video as well, like almost everything we do like comes from a need to like amuse ourselves. Like we all have like the most like brittle attention spans on the planet, and like I feel like we have trouble like staying in the same style like for the length of a song, let alone like a whole album. So, and we all listen to like such different stuff like from each other, as well as
Got
like
it.
there's influences we share, but our tastes like kind of branch off in like a billion different directions. So like I don't think it would have been an honest first album like in representing us if we hadn't just like said fuck it and tried everything.
Yeah, love that. And you all produced it yourself?
Yeah, all of us.
Oh, that's so
In
cool.
Eddie's living room.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
His mom was so nice.
Well, our living room. You live with me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
my living room too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. I haven't been able to say that for a while.
You have a living room.
Yeah,
That's great.
There's a living room I can hang out in. Wow, wow, my life is going so
happening
good.
in real time right
I'm
now.
like literally realizing this. Wow, guys,
Oh my god.
this is beautiful.
Synergy.
Do you produce on Ableton or like what?
Logic.
Yeah, we use Logic.
Everybody?
It's like an old version.
and
too. It's
Rocket-
not even the updated.
It's
And
we need to
blown
update
out
it.
rocket speakers from Guitar
Hey,
Center.
one of them is
Wow.
blown out. One of them
is blown
works.
out. It's a little buzzy.
Yeah.
It's just a little, you know.
It didn't blow out till after we finished the album, but it was because we just spent so much time cranking the album.
Yeah.
So
It's like
it
after that, we
busted.
got the masters back. We
It
blew
was just
out.
like the left speaker farted out.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is the production is like, I feel like it's very intricate. Like there's a lot of details in there and like a lot of just cool sounds like
Damn, thank
that
you.
you're making. What was one of the most frustrating things, like trying to find a sound like in the computer, bang in your head?
I mean, mixing. Like we're not the most experienced like mixers, but that for me that was the hardest part because
Yeah.
we wanted to do it ourselves.
And it's so easy to overthink that too.
Yeah.
Like you can be like, oh, like I think this one like minute kilohertz of a frequency is like doing this, and like it.
Right.
It was a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
I think in terms of sonics though, it was just always like. It was getting the songs to go from sounding like demos, like picture, like blueprints of an idea, to like something that was, like you said, like a little more like coherent and cohesive. I feel like Disco Junction was tricky. Like how many different synth parts did we write for that?
Oh,
Like
so many.
yeah, like so like different sounds, different chords. We tried like so much. We spent like months arguing over like there's like one F that we couldn't decide. Like
Dude, oh my god, the F. We were trying to decide if it should be a major seventh
or like a dominant seventh, and like
for literally
like a month, and we kept it was like the dumbest argument. You ended up being right. We ended up going with you,
was
but
right.
yeah,
Which camera do I look in? I was right.
I was right.
that was right.
G was right. I'd say another thing we had a lot of trouble with was just like getting good drum recordings, and the drum recordings themselves were good. It was just getting them to just crack in the right way.
Exactly,
Because we're learning. We don't.
It was also like a new room. Like we had recorded in Eddie's kitchen, which is kind of attached to the living room, but the drums were on the other side of the room, and the drums sounded great in that recording. But we were on the other side of the room, and it had like a slanted ceiling, and we had like a full 8-mic setup with some tape recorder, vintage
Room
analog
mic.
room mic.
The
It was,
secret- hey,
it was
that's
like a
our
ribbon
secret.
mic
You can't
inside
tell
of
them
a.
about that.
Yeah, it's a secret. Okay, I said
It's
enough.
not even a ribbon mic.
Yeah, you don't know what it is. But we just had
It's a secret.
the room just sounded different from the last time we were recorded in that space.
It was like a new set of challenges and a new set of tools. So it was definitely like a fun and interesting experience, just like mitigating that and like
being
figuring out how
okay
to
with it, and like knowing
Yeah.
that like we don't know everything, but it's fine. It's more us.
Because like our biggest thing, I think, leading up to this album series, like we've been talking about doing a record for like a year and a half, and I think the thing that like always prevented us from just committing and doing it was like we felt like there had to be this certain set of circumstances in place, like we'll be able to do this when this, and then like finally we realized like nothing's stopping us. We have to write songs, learn how to work with the equipment we have and the skill set we have, and we know that like we're. I feel like we all have a good enough taste to like know when we're half-assing something versus when like something is done. And we knew that like as long as we committed to like finishing it and making it the best version itself it could be, that even if it wasn't like done in a studio or had like the cleanest recordings all the time, that we could make something that had like an identity and like breathed and like sounded interesting.
Right. Very cool. And were all the songs new, or were you sitting on like old demos or anything, or were most of them written in the last like 2 years?
Oh yeah, like last 2 years.
Last 2 years, I'd say.
Let's see. I think the oldest one is Honda and Motorola.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was kind of. Yeah.
I think it was Motorola and I don't, because you wrote those on tour, right?
Yeah, we wrote those back when we were on tour with Bay Faction in February of 2019.
Okay.
And we wrote Motor Oil in a room in Denton, Texas, in an Embassy Suites. It was really nice. We had a couple days off, so we wrote a song.
Shout out to Embassy Suites.
So, yeah,
literally.
Hey,
Sponsor?
real talk though, real quick. It's from like 4 to 7, 5 to 7. You get free
drinks, Embassy Suites.
Embassy Suites. Seriously, free bar. There's like 2 different types of beer, mixed drinks, wine.
It's the best.
Oh, I just want to go on
And
tour
snacks.
again.
They got cheese and crackers.
I've never
and you
seen
have
that many
goldfish.
gummy bears in
So
one
much
place.
goldfish.
Embassy Suites.
Beautiful, yeah.
Let's do it. So thematically, lyrically, what's kind of the message of Gossamer 2? What were you guys trying to say?
I just had to answer this like in an email, and it was really hard because I don't know, because like for me when I write lyrics, it's like And actually, Jake has some lyrics on the album too. It was like his first time writing lyrics for the band as well. But like personally for me, it's like I think I never like try and write about something. It's more kind of like collecting. It's like jamming. It's like collecting thoughts where the words sound good, like phonetically, and then kind of like piecing them together and refining them till they feel like they're an honest expression of something I'm feeling or something I've experienced. But after having a couple months to like actually process it and like listen to it, I think there's definitely themes of like of just like doubt, be that self-doubt or doubting one situation and like needing to lose yourself and stuff, like be that like, you know, like substances or like romantic relationships or like, you know, just like the need to put oneself on autopilot because of an inability to deal with stuff. And then I think another theme is also the self-acceptance and like the healing that comes from like going through those like down periods and like processing it and like coming back out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably not like a very good way to explain it, but that's like how I understand it right now.
For sure. Well, one song, Blanket, which is like super personal, super open song. Is it difficult to kind of make yourself that vulnerable when you're writing or?
Yes. And I don't think it's difficult to make myself vulnerable when I write or record. It's difficult. Like, and thankfully I have these guys who have just great ears and like always like push me to believe in my good ideas when I think they're trash. Like it's more being willing to put it out into the world because like my whole thing was like, oh, like, are people going to hear me like choke up on a record and think that it's fake or think that it's cheesy or something? And they're like, no, like it's genuine. Like you should do it. So yeah, and with that song, like the whole, all the verses were like a freestyle. Like the one part where it's like Mission Imprintables or whatever. Like I'm just looking at my bookshelf and like saying stuff. And
Mission Imprintables is the book that we order our merch from.
Yeah. Like
if anyone's wondering what that came from, we literally, that's where we get our t-shirts.
but no, yeah. I mean, I think especially because like now that we're in the habit of making music like every day as well, like I think it's a lot easier to block stuff out and like tap into a part of your brain that's more personal. But yeah, it's more just having the conviction to put it out. And when you have like friends who you trust because they're talented and they have great ears and they tell you that it is a good idea, it's really relieving.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. What was the story behind my first guitar? Who like
John.
That's actually our friend, John is his name, or Peer Mine is what he goes by. He's on our song All Night with us, with Dr.
Shouts out
Savvy.
Peer Mine.
And yeah, he's just a good friend of ours. And we just knew we wanted to do a little interlude, and we love his voice, so we just wanted to hear him talk about something, and that was a good story he had. So yeah.
It like fit well leading into Blanket too.
Yeah, because it was the same chord progression.
Did that.
Yeah, it's so lame. I was that story bummed me out, but it just felt right. And then like Jake played the chords over it, and we asked him, and he was down, so we recorded it.
Nice. So now that you've had a little bit of time to sit with everything, what's your favorite song? What's each of your favorite songs on Gossamer 2?
Disco Junction, 100% Disco Junction.
Nice.
Wow. That was immediate.
With conviction.
Wow. Am I next? I have to think about this for like 1 second. Wait.
I need to think too.
I mean,
take your
I
time.
think it's either Donuts or Honda for me. I mean, Honda was the first song, but I still think that's a great representation of the band, or in that at that period of time at least. But yeah, Donuts is great. Wallace is, I think, great too. That's too many answers. I'm sorry.
Probably like Blanket. I like 6 Foot
Did you just have to
Cobra.
look at the track listing?
I needed to visualize it. You know, I'm a visual.
Yeah, no, totally same.
Probably Blanket, but favorite song is probably 6 Foot Cobra. But Blanket is my favorite recording. 6 Foot Cobra is so fun to play though.
Yeah,
so.
that one's fun. I think mine's got like I wanted to say I Don't because I do actually really love that song and I feel like it gets slept on a little bit. But I think Honda because that song we're being just the most aggressively ourselves and it felt like I hate saying this because it sounds like really pretentious, but it felt like a statement when we put it out. You know, it felt like okay, like that, like we're not gonna like hint at putting certain things in our sound. Like we're just gonna commit and like make a song that is purely just from a place of our creativity and like put it out in the world and see what happens.
Yeah,
so it felt really good to put that out. So I think I'm just really fond of it for that.
Yeah, and was it tough taking them to the live stage, like learning how to play them?
Oh my god, yeah.
There was some like 6 Foot came from live,
Oh,
and then
okay.
we recorded it. And same with, I think that was really...
Well, I mean, I made the Wallace demo, but we jammed it before we really wrote it.
A lot of it came from jamming, but other ones like one that we're doing today, Disco Junction, we've never played live before. And we're playing it live here for the first time, so we're kind of doing a different version of it. And, so it is interesting transitioning it to it, especially with a lot of the more like electronic element heavy songs.
Right.
So,
Do you have just like triggers on stage or something?
Well, it's
On stage, yes.
we're trying to kind of switch it up a little bit rather than try and make it sound exactly like it. We don't need to make it sound like it could just be its own unique version that's like special for live or something that still has some of the characteristics. And
We just try to bring the magic of the recordings in that album to the live stage setting and with the live energy when we play it live.
Like I think a mentality that we've always tried to adopt from like the beginning, because before we knew how to use like backing tracks or triggers or like any of that stuff, it was like we'd make the records just not worrying about how we were going to play it live and be like, okay, like we'll just make it its own thing. And we always, at the beginning, we try to treat it like we're a punk band, like covering our own songs. Okay. And I think even as we've been lucky enough to have like the resources to actually present like the vision that we have in the songs like to a live audience, like we still kind of keep that same mentality, and we allow things to sound different from the record if it's gonna have like the energy we need.
Got it. Yeah. And staying on live, because your guys' live shows are absolutely insane. I saw you at
thank you.
Golden Hour. It was great. Yeah.
That was fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah, super fun. But yeah, you guys like break strigs, have stomped holes in stages.
That was a shitty stage. Love that venue. Shout out Lunchbox in Phoenix.
Lunchbox is great. The owner actually thanked Sterling afterwards
He said he'd been meaning to fix this, like just to get a new stage. So you're welcome.
but I guess my question is, in how long did it take for you guys to get that comfortable on stage playing? Like in the very first Fashion Jackson show, was it that crazy, or did it take you a while to like be comfortable?
It was at a coffee shop.
It's a great question.
And it was, we were not that comfortable. So it's definitely grown. It's come with the time spent doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say arguably like it's taken us just till like now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's been like such a constantly like building and evolving process.
One thing that really helped us too is just when we first started was just playing a lot and just getting out there and doing the shows. Because when you're first starting, it doesn't matter really as much like, oh, you need to like have draw for a show.
Yeah.
Like you already don't have draw. Just go play as many shows as you can and get all your friends to come out there and support, and like just do it. And just the playing of it is going to make you better, and it's going to make you more invested in it, and it's going to just like group cohesion and everything is just after you play a show, like you're just more together as a group, I would say. And even just as a solo artist, like just advice I would say is just play, just go out there and do it, because it's gonna like that's like priceless practice or something.
Yeah,
like
that helped with us. I've been playing with Sterling and Eddie since I was like in like 6th grade or something, but and Sean since like freshman year of high school. So I've been growing up playing with these guys, but like I joined Fashion Jackson a little later, and definitely the first show compared to the last show we played is like an insane difference. So like I think for me tour helped, just like not caring about like I've never seen any of these people before, just like really getting comfortable with just like honestly it's helped me with like my self-confidence, because I'm very like insecure, but God, this is getting a little too intense. But like, I'm like, I used to be not very confident in my whatever, but like being on stage and just like completely changing who I am and being a new character on stage, like really helped with my self-confidence.
I think the moment in which I knew Jake had changed forever, we were in Sacramento playing to like 30 people, but he had like a wireless guitar thing, and in the middle of a guitar solo, he literally runs to the bathroom while playing it, and I was like, it was amazing. It was beautiful. Like it was like watching a chrysalis explode into like a gorgeous monarch butterfly.
Those flowers that only blooms at night once a year. And you're like, wow, I really get to see this right now.
Yeah. It was like seeing the Aurora Borealis or something. I don't know, it was fire.
Yeah, but my point is, it's like it didn't like happen in one. I wasn't just weird and kooky on stage all of a sudden. It took a long time to
like it says tour, playing every night, just playing a lot. It's just that constant reinforcement of that just is so helpful.
The more you play, the better you sound, just period.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just so in your element, like all of you. I love watching you live. I actually saw you once before at the Constellation Room with like Hate Drugs and
that's a fun spot.
And it's just like so captivating watching you guys. Yeah, the Licks played. Yeah, so and now you just played with like the 1975. You have been on tour across the country. What's one of the best things that are the best places that music has brought you? New York, you guys got
New York
to,
was
like, all that
sick.
stuff.
I mean, I think for me, like, it's so cliched, especially like, you know, being like the whatever we are from San Diego or whatnot. Like it was really, really special to me, like after, because like that second tour we did in winter of 2019 was so long, and none of us had ever done anything like that before.
Like 9 weeks long.
And it was like, you know, it was like through all the cold, driving through the mountains, having to overcome so many challenges that were like really foreign to us. And then like crossing the bridge and like seeing like the skyline of New York, like in the background, and be like, damn, like we literally drove here from San Diego. I will never forget what that felt like. So that was for me. I don't know, but like there's a billion.
That's a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
What about you, Sterling?
We had a big blizzard in Montreal, and I've seen snow, but like I'm from San Diego, so the snow I've seen is like that deep. And we were in a really like a pretty gnarly blizzard. We were out there right around the time of like the big polar plunge thing that happened. Yeah. So it was just really cold.
In a Honda.
Yeah, in the Honda.
I'd pee so bad.
Yeah, that was just that being there in that moment and be like, we had just played the last show tour, and we were just kind of like, wow, like, or just for me, it's like, wow, we're really like in Canada right now, stuck in our car because it's snowing so hard. I mean, I wouldn't be here. I don't know if I'd ever be driving around nowhere in Canada if it wasn't for this band. So that was an interesting moment. It's a little scary, but you know, we parked for a couple hours, snow cleared up. It was all good.
Vancouver's always awesome. We always like typically if we're going up there, we typically spend a few days in Vancouver to hang out and take it in. And I just love the Pacific Northwest and like way up north on the West Coast, even in Canada. It's just
Canadian San Diego.
So much green, and like also like Oregon and like Washington, and it's beautiful up there, man. You know, it's got a whole bunch of foliage you don't get down here.
100%.
In the Southwest.
I love foliage. For me, this is a super cliche answer, but like to Sports Arena was my first show like ever, and I saw Eric Clapton there when I was 10 years old, and I was like, I'm doing music.
Wow.
And then it was like just full circle going and playing with one of our favorite bands there. And I was like, I was sitting right there when I was on stage. And it was a cool experience. For me, that was like a very defining, like, without these guys, I would not be here for sure. So that was cool.
Amazing.
I think we can all agree that's probably the craziest moment.
Yeah, it was.
You just brought that first. I wanted to try and say something different.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
It was actually like one of the most surreal things we've like ever experienced. We almost got in trouble with the sponsor during that gig.
Why?
Because so we were performing Honda, and the
it's sponsored by Subaru.
Yeah, and so we had this bit because we were like, okay, we have like a 15-foot tall video screen behind us, like we have to do something dumb. So like our whole thing was like, during the bass drop on, like we had like a little instrumental intro into Honda, and for that we flashed like a big Honda logo on screen, and then on the bass drop it like X'd out and like the Subaru logo popped up. And it's like the dumbest thing we've ever done, but we thought it was really funny. But I guess like our friend who was running the backdrop got like yelled at by the stage manager, and they had to like make a phone call and make sure it was okay.
It was the rep from Subaru saw it and was like, no,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Shoot.
But the guy who ran Subaru, or the CEO
they
of Subaru,
they got in contact with the CEO of Subaru, and he okayed our
was like, it's
backdrop.
fine.
Yeah,
That's great. That's great.
Hey, CEO of Subaru, give us a car.
one more sponsor.
Give us a
How
car.
about that? We will delete Honda off the internet if you give us a car. Rename it Subaru.
Literally. Cool.
So last couple things. Uncut Gems. Are you guys fans of it?
Oh my God! I was literally just sitting here hoping you would bring that up. I had no idea like why you would bring it up, but I was I hope we could talk about Uncut Gems. That's what I want to talk about.
We need to be careful because I gotta make 2 points. Like you can't go in knowing anything.
Yeah.
Except that Adam Sandler he's in New York and he's addicted to gambling with other people's money. It's I don't know. I mean like I remember even when I first saw the trailer, I was a little confused by like what the premise was, but I don't know. It's just a masterful film, and like the style and the presentation of it is just like nothing I've ever seen before. And like, I mean, it's easy to forget that Adam Sandler is actually such a talented actor, but the way he commits to this character, and like, it's really weird because it's so hard, and I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it's like you watch this character kind of like take on a lot of pressure to the point where you get used to like thinking that he just doesn't care, but then there are little moments where you really like see a window into this person's like take on their own life, and like you feel like a lot of sympathy for them, and it's a really cool movie. I think the Safdie brothers are like brilliant. I love how the whole marketing campaign has been kind of memey too.
Yeah.
Like especially and like I think it also holds an interesting place in culture because like I mean obviously A24 has been making like a name for themselves like for years. Like people know movies like Hereditary and like whatnot, but like I feel like they've put so much mainstream or so many resources into promoting this as a mainstream film that I love that like Uncut Gems was the film that kind of like is like meant to introduce mainstream audiences to more like experimental styles of making movies. I just think it's sick.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is fire. It's so good.
It's a great review. That's a great review.
That was a dangerous question to ask.
Yeah, because I have to be so careful because like no, and like while it's still out, like see it in theaters. Like actually,
please.
I haven't seen
needs to be
it.
seen in theaters.
Me and Sean have.
We haven't seen
Me
it.
and Sterling saw it. We were
Can we just
working on
blur
it.
them out for this part of the video?
Yeah, exactly.
They haven't even seen it. What the heck?
Cool. And then Outfit Machine was the last thing I wanted to talk about. Is that you started?
So it's kind of it's all of us in a bit, and there's also someone off camera right over there who runs a lot of it. Her name is Carls. And
Hi, Carls.
Shout out to Carls.
We do shows. There's a couple bands that we work with. We haven't really announced anything. It's kind of it's our imprint a little bit.
Cool.
It's like a collective. We have a lot of friends that all work and make music, and it's just a way of kind of tying it all together and giving it. It's like a family almost.
That's
I
great.
would say.
Love that.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
we have some other stuff we're working on too. We're thinking about. I don't know. We have some stuff in the works that will in the oven cooking.
Hell yeah.
Coming
Hell yeah.
soon.
Hell
To
yeah.
Probably not a theater, but maybe a local venue.
Feature film.
Local venue
Yeah,
near
feature
you.
film goes.
We got Sandler. He just signed on everything. We're good.
Eddie's living room.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll get into some music then right now. I'll link all your socials in the description. And shout out to Topo Chico. Thank you guys.
can we just-
Topo
as
Chico.
always.
Real talk.
Get this man
I want
a-
to drink some of yours.
Get this man a sponsor, man. God.
You guys are the
It tastes
best.
better since it's here. So
Good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, stay tuned. We're going to get into some music right now. Fashion Jackson. Thank you guys.
Music
Yeah, thank
makes
you,
me
Jack.
rock out.
Oh, what's up, YouTube? This Chad's home. We got a very special performance for y'all today. It is my honor, privilege, and esteemed duty to introduce the best fucking bebop jazz band in the world, Fashion Jackson. Everyone's sleeping. What's another hour up? Can't say for certain. And I gotta wonder, am I hurting anyone besides myself? Oh well. Oh, one too many let me step outside. Bar a cigarette. When your phone goes out, don't be too surprised. Just forget about it. 'Cause every morning it's a brand new. Shot it all the same mistakes. So let's try this again tomorrow night. If you're up to it. 'Cause I'm not afraid. Oh, well, it's just that the idea of another day is a lot to take. And I didn't mean, no, well, to turn you into a vessel or a fever dream fantasy. One too many let me step outside for a cigarette. When your phone goes out, don't be too surprised. Just forget about it. 'Cause every morning is a brand new. Shut it on the same mistakes. So let's try this again tomorrow night. If you're up to it, guitar. One too many let me step outside for a cigarette. When your phone goes up, don't be too surprised. Just to get it out it. Cause every morning yields a brand new shot it up. The same mistakes are, let's try this again. Tomorrow night, if you're up to it. Thank you. Hey man, what you doing tonight? I hear there's a party at Disco Junction. It's gonna be off the chain. 9 p.m. I'll see you there. I just wanna be alone tonight. Put a rock over my phone tonight. Watch some brainless shit and kill some time. God, I hate being alone. My forehead sobbing like the dew against the moonlight. Windows down, a cigarette on a long drive. Stayed up drunk texting until my phone died. Now I'm headed out to clown school on a full ride.
I can't explain the way you make me feel. You're overrated. Contemplate to going on, but you'll be all alone. I can't explain the way you make me feel. You're overrated. Contemplate to go and home, but you'll be all alone.
So left to Disco Junction, I hear it's going on. We're too fucked up to function. I don't care, I'll walk it on. You're such a disappointment. It looks so good on you. How much is entry, baby? I don't care, I have a clue. Hey yo, what's going on? I thought you said you'd get me in. Like, what's up? You're not on the list. Sorry about that. You gotta go.
Your frame is like a disco ball, reflecting on the light. Let in, just let me in and put me on the list.
Turn left to Disco Junction, I hear it's going on. We're too fucked up to function. I don't care, I'll walk it on. You're such a disappointment. It looks so good on you. How much is entry, baby? I don't care or have a clue. Turn left to Disco Junction, I hear it's going on. We're too fucked up to function. I don't care, I'll walk it on. You're such a disappointment. It looks so good on you. How much is entry, baby? I don't care, have a clue.
I can't explain the way you make me feel. It's overrated. Contemplate to go and home, but you'll be all alone.
Don't stop wasting my time. Yeah, I'm crawling to the end of the line. And there's too many lonely people outside. No, and that's all. I'm not them. Give me everything. I got no more left to me. Cause you're gonna be my everything. So there's nothing left to be. Baby, you're my ones and bread. You're essential to the team. Tell me, why the hell you doing that for? I was so there'd be a team. No, and don't stop wasting my time. Yeah, I'm crawling to the ends of the line. And there's too many broken people outside. No, and that's all matter. Cigarette, vitamin. Yeah, I was lost and I was found. Now I'm lost again. I gave you everything. What more do you want from me? Yeah. What do you want from me? Give me something, give me anything. Don't care particularly. No, and don't stop wasting my time. Oh, I'm crawling to the ends of the line. And there's too many other people outside. I don't matter. Thank you. This chat's home. We're Fashion Jackson. Thank you so much for watching us. See you later.